Welcome back to the PHNX Suns podcast player preview as we look ahead to the Suns 2021-22 season. This time, we're going to talk about the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, the Western Conference Finals. All of a sudden, I show up after having some games off. Abdel Nader.
Yes, Abdel Nader is a really interesting piece in my mind because he's a guy that was giving the Suns quality minutes off the bench last year. I think he only wound up playing 24 games. It didn't feel like it, but then he got hurt.
It really didn't.
It didn't feel like he only played that much, right?
No.
But he got hurt. He had knee surgery. He was out for 3 months. And then Monty Williams decided to toss him back into the fray in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals with Torrey Craig on the roster too, which, you know, when they got Torrey Craig, it felt like, okay, that's to fill Nader's spot. And he's probably not going to play because he has knee surgery. And then he's out there in the conference finals again. So I'm very interested to see they brought him back on a 2-year deal with a team option for a second year, what his role kind of is, because Monty trusts in him and he does bring some unique things to the roster, but he also is a pretty flawed player as well.
Yeah, he's a conundrum for me. When I watch him play, there's not one single thing that he does great, but there's not one single thing that he's really awful at. He's just kind of a middle of the road player. He's got nice length. That's what I think that Monty really likes out of him. He's got the flexibility to play multiple positions on switches, which is good. You need that in this league. But you know, and he's even shown a few surprise moves on the offensive side of the ball. He can even shoot the three from time to time. He's not the greatest 3-point shooter, but if you leave him open, he can knock him down. So he's an odd one for me. I don't know where he's going to fit on this team, especially when you throw in Landry Shamet into the fold and what he can do. So it's kind of up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Chandler Hutchison and how he needs to kind of provide some of that athleticism if he wants to find his way into the rotation. Abdel Nader is the guy that's probably going to benefit the most from Torrey Craig being gone, because he is a guy that can play multiple positions. You look at last year's stats, only 6.7 points and 2.6 rebounds in about 15 minutes a night, but he did shoot 49% from the floor. He shot 42% from three, which was surprising when you look at that number. I didn't realize it was that high. But his biggest thing is that he is able to get downhill. His nickname, Monty Williams said, is literally downhill dually. So he's the guy that like will drive from the rim or from the perimeter to the basket. And I put together a little Bourguet breakdown to talk about this, but his drives are either fantastic or they're a disaster. Yes. Like he has no control. And he even brought up at media day that deceleration was something he had to work on in the offseason because he thinks that's how he got hurt. And sometimes he just goes head down, he gets that tunnel vision, and he doesn't like make the right play.
He's much like me when I'm roller skating. I don't know how to use the brake, so I just slam into the wall. So it either looks really, really good as I'm whipping around, or it looks really, really bad when I flip over the wall and hurt myself. So, Abdel brings a lot to this table or to this team. He's got some nice intangibles that I think that Monty Williams likes, that Chris Paul even likes, because the two played together at OKC. And we'll see what he's used, in what form he's used this year. I will say this: the big question: can he fill that Torrey Craig role? And can he learn to decelerate, not get such tunnel vision like you just mentioned? For that first one, I don't think he can fill that Torrey Craig role because Torrey had just so much bounce and athleticism, and I don't feel like Abdel necessarily matches that to a T. So, but let's find out what Monty has to say in our segment called Role Play. All right, this is where we talk about the player at hand. Monty is right here next to me. So, Monty, describe what you see in Abdel Nader.
Well, we love the way that he drives to the basket.
Are you trying to do your Monty impression
I shouldn't
right now?
probably do that, should I? I should just. Well, we love the way that he drives to the basket. The pressure that he puts on the rim from the wing. There's a reason that we call him downhill dually. We even have a symbol for him. It's just this. This is his sign to denote that he's going downhill. He defends multiple positions. He hits threes. we need him to be a little bit more reliable because last year he was a little bit sporadic in his role. Obviously, he got hurt, but we had that trust in him to put him in that situation, and we believe in our guys. Even in big situations like the conference finals, he showed us that he can be a guy that can play multiple spots, and that's huge for us because we have all that wing versatility. So that's what we're looking for from Abdul this year.
All right. Thanks, Coach. I appreciate that. If you want more awkwardness, just follow us here at PHNX Suns _podcast or PHNX _Suns, I should say, the podcast. We'll have more. Monty, have a good rest of your week. I think he's done for today.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to the next player.